Wildcat Nation. Welcome back to Season 3 of Wildcat Week. I'm Abby Harvey, and I'm here with my co-host, Micah Roberts. For tonight's episode, we were unable to get the men's golf team here, as we talked about last week, but lucky for you guys, we have the women's golf team. The athletes we're spotlighting tonight for Episode 3 is junior Caroline Gibson and freshman Sage Parsetich.
It's great to get the both of you in here and talk about the women's golf team, especially just the individual play that you guys have had this season. Abby and I are very excited, and I know the viewers are as well. So let's just get right into it. So how did the both of you get into golf?
Well, growing up, I actually played softball like my whole life. I didn't touch a golf club until I was in 7th grade. So I just played travel softball. It was like what I was pretty much born into. All my brothers played college baseball, so it was kind of just like set for me to play college softball. But I think I just got like sick and tired of the same thing like that softball is. It got old to me. And so sophomore year of high school, I was like, all right, I'm just going to focus on golf. And
how about you, Sage?
My mom grew up on a golf course, and she played golf at UIndy. So my grandparents and my parents kind of wanted me to play golf, and so I got more competitive with it in like middle school and more like enjoyed it more in middle school.
And how do you guys think that golf has shaped you into the college athlete that you are and also the person that you are today?
Well, I think golf is such like a mental game. Like most athletes will say like, oh my gosh, like I'll just go golf. Like try playing 36 holes in a day. Like it's mentally challenging. And so I think it helps with like a lot of life lessons, like not to give up on like hard days. Like 36 holes, we just did it on Monday. And there were times like I wanted to quit, but you realize like you're doing it for the people behind you and not just yourself. So I think like it helps in life, like knowing not to give up.
Like Caroline said, it's just a very mental game. So I've learned a lot of patience, and like I need to be patient with like how long the round is going to take or like what I'm doing throughout the day. And I feel like I've gotten out of my comfort zone more because I'm an introvert, so it makes me like have to go up and talk to people and interact with them. So I've gotten better with that.
What made you guys decide that you wanted to play golf in college? What was kind of the deciding factor for that?
Well, people are so quick to say like college golf or like women's golf scholarships are the most unused scholarship there is out there. But like once you like start the recruiting process, like that's not how it is. Like it's still just as hard to get into like any other college sport as golf is. But I think like my parents just like pushed it on me so hard, like to play college golf, like play college golf. I don't think they wanted me to play college softball. They were always like, you get to wear cuter clothes. You don't have to play in the rain, which is not true.
Yeah.
Like we play in the rain all the time. And they're like, you're done when it's dark out, it's a huge plus. Like softball games, I remember growing up, like we'd play until 2 a.m. Like what the heck were we doing? So that's a big plus.
I didn't want to end my golf career at high school. I wanted to keep on going and kind of follow in my mom's footsteps too, because she played golf in college. So I just feel like it would help me as a person and just have fun in college also.
So knowing that you wanted to play in college, how did you decide IWU was the place for you guys?
Well, I was like between Taylor and Indiana Wesleyan. Actually, IWU was like the last place I even looked at. I didn't even know that it was a school, to be honest. Like I had heard someone come here for swim, and I was like, it's just a small school. Like I wanted to go to a big school. But I just realized like I wasn't going to be, like I didn't have like the, not competitive drive, because like I'm the most competitive person there is. But like I just wasn't going to play like golf at a big school. And so once I knew that, I narrowed it down to like Marion, Taylor, and here. But on my visit here with Coach Bloom, he was giving me like the presentation that he gives to all the recruits, and he was talking about like faith and like how like our culture on the golf team is like centered around bringing people to Christ. And I was like, I had never heard that before. I was like, I called myself a Christian, but like I wasn't living that out whatsoever. Like I was just a terrible kid in high school. But once he started talking about girls on the team, I was like crying. Like I was like, Coach, you don't want me, like I'm not like that. And he's like, no. And then he started crying. We were crying. He prayed for me, and I think like a week later I committed because I just knew like if I was going to grow as a person and as a golfer, it was going to be here.
I chose IWU because I was looking at two different schools. I was looking at Indiana Wesleyan and Grace, and I felt more of like God telling me I need to come here, and the atmosphere was so much like more comfortable for me. And I love the girls on the team, even though they're not here now. Like some of the seniors who have graduated, I just love their like who they were, and even the girls on the team now. Like I just love all of them. Like they're just great people to golf around, and just like even not when we're on the golf course, just hanging out with them. Like they're just great. I just love it so much.
So, Caroline, this is for you. After an impressive season last year with the best finish in program history at the NAIA National Championship and receiving all league honors, what were your thoughts and expectations going into this year?
Well, a huge goal for like myself was obviously to get like all conference honors again, but also to step it up and like try to get All-American. And I think I like put a lot of pressure on myself over the summer. But I kind of fell more in love with the game over the summer. Like I was working at a golf course. My knowledge of like certain golf terms grew. I was playing in tournaments, and my dad was pushing me a lot. And so I like fell in love with the game over summer. And I wanted that for myself. Like I wanted to go back to nationals as a team, and I wanted to finish higher than 11th because that's the expectation. Like you're expected to beat what you were last year. And so I was excited coming in this year, knowing we had the potential, or we do have the potential to be better than what we were last year. And it's just exciting with what we have. I think we had like a little bit of pressure on us because of what we finished last year, and we lost 2 seniors. But I think we're going to exceed that once we get going, and we're going to peak at the right time.
And then, Sage, how was your transition from Center Grove to here?
It was actually really smooth. The qualifying rounds, I wasn't too nervous because I already knew most of the girls anyway from like visits or just like hanging out with them, seeing them at tournaments over the summer. Like I saw Caroline at probably 2 or 3 of my tournaments, and it wasn't that much of a difference just because it should be the same. Like the only thing that's different is it's more competitive, and like you have a smaller team and a more set schedule for practicing. So I transitioned smoothly, I think.
So now let's dive into this season. So you guys are ranked 10th right now in the most previous poll. How does it feel to kind of get this recognition, but also how does it feel? Is there added pressure with the rankings coming out and you guys being so high?
I think there's a little bit of pressure for sure, but we've definitely we've been ranked higher at one point. Like I think we started off last year 5th or 6th or 7th around that. So I think there is like a little bit of pressure, and especially like we're young. Like we only have 1 senior, and we have 2 freshmen in the top 5. So it's a learning experience for them for sure. But I think once they get more comfortable on longer golf courses and more comfortable playing with other college golfers, I think we will peak at the right time when we need to, and it'll be good.
All right, so Sage, following up on what Abby said, that you went to Center Grove, which is primarily a very dominant school within their sports teams.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, you always hear about their football program, but I think that you especially had a great year last year. You tied for 10th place in the individual championship in the state finals, and that's a huge accomplishment. So kind of just talk us through that experience and the impact that had on you.
Yeah, so I went to state years of my 4 at high school, and the first 2 that I went, I was just putting so much pressure on myself because I felt like I had to do so well, and like my whole team was putting a lot of pressure on ourselves to do well. And so I went into my senior year, and I'm like, let's just go have fun. We're playing golf. Like, it's a great course, great, like, team and everything. Like, we totally had the chance to win. I just kind of went in with no pressure, like, just going and having fun. And it worked out. The last couple holes in my last 18, I was getting a little sad because it was my last high school tournament. So, yeah.
So for both of you, what was your favorite course you guys played in high school? Like, where was it at, or just what was your favorite course?
Probably the state course.
Yeah, I was
I
going to
think
say
Prairie
Prairie
View's
View.
Probably the nicest.
And then
Yeah.
what's
In
your
high
favorite
school.
course that you've played in college?
Well, mine's TPC Deer Run in Illinois. It's where they play the John Deere Classic. And I did win a tournament there, so
Oh, yeah.
kind of has to be.
My favorite course so far is probably the one in Kentucky that we just played, Country Club of Paducah. It's very tough, but it's a great course, really pretty, just in great shape overall.
Caroline, you talked in the beginning about how mental the golf game is. How do you guys deal with the mental challenges that golf brings, kind of on the course and off the course, kind of keeping your head in the game and not worrying about what has happened?
Yeah, Coach Bloom just talks about this so much. He's so big at, like, worshiping our way around the golf course. Like, whenever you have, like, a time of a trial, like, find something that brings you joy, like, in that moment. Or, like, what are you out there doing? Like, and what I, like, try to keep in mind as I'm playing, I'm not the best at this, but, like, what are the other girls thinking of me when I hit a bad shot? Like, are they going to see me have a bad attitude, or am I going to show, like, Christ-like behavior for them to ask what's different about her? And so I think for me, like, it's about, like, what others think. And I'm not big. I don't care if you – I'll do things that are embarrassing. I don't care what you guys think about that. But, like, when it comes to, like, my attitude and my character, like, I'm going to show, like, that I'm a Christian, and I want people to ask what free means or what's different about me. And so that's probably how I try to keep my mental state sane.
Yeah, I kind of do what Caroline does, or at least try. Like, think about what other girls would think of me when I hit a bad shot and how I'm reacting. I tend to just shut down and be in my own little zone and kind of block everything out and not really talk to anybody and probably have, like, the most straight face ever and no smiling at all, which I know I should, because it just brings more, like, joy. And I just try to, like, remind myself I'm out here and I'm just, like, here having fun. I'm, like, with my team and everything, and I'm doing it all for God, and I just need to relax.
We both know a little bit about golf, not to the expertise that you both have, but I know you get paired with an opponent for the day, or at least for the round. And what is kind of the craziest story you have from an opponent or a pairing that you've encountered, whether that's in high school or in college?
We tell them all the time on the van, but, like,
Trying to
I can
right
think of
now.
just this one from the last tournament, and this is, I don't know if this is TMI. It's just funny. So another girl, we were playing with Southern Indiana. This was a D1 tournament we were in. So we were playing with Southern Indiana, and I saw a girl on her team, like, limping, like, just, but she'd been limping the whole day before. We played 36 holes. I'm like, how does she do this? And so I asked her, I was like, is she hurt, or, like, what's going on there? And she's like, well, she's had a couple surgeries. She's been in a car accident. Like, that's just kind of how she walks. I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, I don't know how she does it. She played 36 holes, and
Wow.
she's got a limp. She goes, I can't even walk 36 holes, and there's nothing wrong with my legs. And she started talking about the chafing in her legs. And, like, she's like, it feels like sandpaper down there. I'm like, that's terrible. Like, they either people don't talk or they just overshare. Like, there's no in between.
Okay.
What do you do? Over talk or don't talk at all?
I feel
Depends
like
how
it
I'm
depends.
playing.
Yeah,
Okay,
or, like, the
that's fair.
person, like, if I know them or not.
Right.
What about you? Do you have a crazy story?
I'm trying to think. I can't really think of any right now. This
Yeah.
might be a while.
No, you're good.
So Micah said we obviously don't know a lot about golf, but have either of you ever gotten a hole-in-one, and is it up to all the hype that us non-golfers give it?
I have not got a hole in one, but
Like, ever in your whole life?
no. But working at a golf course, like, it's a big deal. Like, if someone gets a hole in one, like, there's, like, a hole at the golf course I work at, there's a hole in one club. And if you're in the hole in one club, like, you pay $5 to the person that, like, got the hole in one, so they can, like, buy everyone drinks at the club. Like, it's a big deal in that world, but no, I've never got one.
Yeah, I haven't gotten one either, but I've been so close so many times, and I just want one already. It makes me mad. But
So what
Yeah.
is the worst hole you've ever had or shot? Because I know I was friends with some of the golfers in high school, and they said that they, like, have funny stories about their worst hole, and they still remember it.
Yeah.
So what was kind of your worst
I had
hole?
lots of bad holes this last week. I'll just talk about one this last tournament because I took an 8 on a par 3. I topped it into the water on my tee shot, The second shot I like shanked, but like pulled it to the left, and it was behind a cart path that was like elevated, so there was concrete between my ball. Like there was just nowhere to hit it, so I had to hit it sideways, like through 2 trees, and it hit this girl's cart. Like, it was just so embarrassing. And then my next shot was short, and then short after that, and then I 2-putted. It was just, but I just laughed it off because what can you do at that point?
Right.
Yeah, don't dwell on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I've actually gotten a 12 on a par 3 before. It was like probably 3 years ago. I think I shanked like 5 balls off the tee, and my dad actually went back to the car to get more golf balls because he was like, great, this is how the round's gonna go. But I thought he was gonna leave because I was like, oh shoot, like my dad's gone. Like I didn't see him for like probably 20 minutes.
I'm scared of that too, my dad just leaving.
Yeah, and I think I held up like probably 4 or 5 groups behind me, so they were all watching, and I was getting so scared. And I was crying. It was a mess.
You know it's bad when you're trying to putt and there's tears in your eyes and you can't see the ball. It's so bad.
Yeah, and the girls I was playing with are like, it's okay, like just take your time, and I'm like, okay.
Is there like a max you can get?
Not in college.
Yeah, not in college.
Because I went golfing with my friends like this past weekend, and they told me that the max was 8, and I maxed on every hole. So
Well,
Yeah,
in high school
it's
there's
double
double
par.
par. Yeah.
Like so on a par 3 you can only get 6.
Okay.
And if you have to pick up, you have to like circle it that you picked up, like that you didn't even finish the hole.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in our summer tournaments or like college, like you just have to play out and finish.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there can
brutal.
be some really high numbers.
Transitioning back into the team, how does having such a small team impact your play or even the relationships that you are developing throughout the season?
Yeah, the relationships are huge. Like we have a golf like small group once those start back up, and it's so good. Like I feel like especially coming into like college, you can like testify to this, but like you kind of get closed off with who you can talk to, or like you might be scared to open up, but like having this team, like I'm never scared to like say anything to anyone. Like we know if we say it, it's not going to go anywhere, and we're able to talk about hard things in small group. And even with our coaches, like they're just great about that kind of stuff, and their wives, they're always there for us. So it's big relational for sure.
I like having a smaller team. I feel like we're all closer with each other, like relationship wise, and I feel like it makes us more competitive and want that spot on the top 5 to travel, or just at a tournament being top 5 where he takes everybody. It makes me want to practice more and get better to make sure I'm on that top 5 for any tournament we're at.
And Caroline, I'm glad that you brought up the word small groups. Pretty much just talk about how you guys stay involved spiritually, and what do the small groups actually look like, if you feel comfortable about sharing that, and how do you guys exactly push each other in your walks with Christ?
Yeah. So we have like our senior will lead it this year. We had a senior lead it last year. It's just kind of like our structure of it. But the leaders are just so wise in what they know, and like they've been through a lot of the stuff that we're going through. But it is about pushing each other, like to grow with the Lord and in your walk, and to be better Christ followers. And I think that's how you know like people love you. Like they're going to tell you messed up. And so I think we're not here to like beat each other up by any means, but that's true love when someone's going to be like, hey, Sage, you screwed up. Like you need to fix that. Or like and like we're just so good about like praying for each other. We like constantly are asking for prayer requests, and sometimes even at small group we'll break up into 2s. So it's, if you don't feel comfortable telling the whole group, you can tell one person and they'll pray for you right then and there. I just think it's just a supportive group of girls. Like I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
What is something you guys do as like a team? Do you do like
Sing
little
songs.
devotional before like you take the course or you get off the bus or the van or whatever? Is there something you do specifically right before a tournament?
Well, we usually just pray like either in the van or like on the green right before everyone kind of goes their separate way, because we don't see each other on the first day. We don't see each other for 10 hours until the end. So we just take that time at the beginning to pray, and I don't think there's anything else.
Do you guys listen to like certain songs as a
Yeah, non-spiritual now.
Non-spiritual now.
What do
like
you-
any
like-
song, like pregame or
Is there something
Pre-match.
wild you guys are doing on the van before?
Homework.
No, those
Homework?
van
Okay,
rides
that's
on the
valid.
way there are silent.
Really?
Yes, because it's like 6:40 in the morning. Like
Okay.
That's
That's
fair.
totally understandable.
I'm listening to my AirPods. I've got like Mike Stud on there. That's who I'm listening to.
How about you, Sage? Do you listen to like any artist or specific band or anything?
Taylor Swift right now.
Taylor Swift? Okay. Do you
Yeah.
have a favorite song?
No, but favorite album is probably Reputation.
Oh yes, that's fine. I
Me
was like,
and
I
you
hope she
both.
says Reputation. Oh yeah.
No, but I think on the van ride I listen to more like hype stuff just
Yeah.
because it gets me hype before everyone's all settled
Right.
down. Like, I don't know. I am still like missing the softball environment of the hype. So I got to do that to myself before I get on the course. But then once I like get on the course and start warming up, it's more like worship music just to
Just keep cool and
To keep-
collected.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys leave for Florida on Saturday, right? How do you guys? I know you guys have a fall and a spring season. How do you guys balance missing so much school? Like, how do you balance golf and school?
I email my teachers before, like, I leave, probably like 2 or 3 days in advance, just to like let them know I'm gonna be gone, and then ask them like what we're gonna be doing, and I tell them I'll be looking at the syllabus, and then if I have any questions, I'll email them again. But I try to take all my books that I'll need for those assignments over like the traveling time, and then just make sure I'm on top of it and not like forgetting to do any quizzes or reading assignments that I have to do, and just like staying on top of it.
I tell myself you can't eat an elephant whole because like it gets so piled up that I just like I feel like I'm drowning, but it's so easy to it's not easy, but when you're on the course you're thinking about all the stuff you have to do. So I try to get it done before I leave so that way when I'm there I can just focus on golf. I mean there are like assignments that creep up that I have to do at the hotel that night, but just trying to get in bed at a decent hour. But all my professors are just so great with being gone, like me being gone. I talked to one today and she was like, whatever you need, like we'll work it out. I'm like, see, this is why I love you.
I think that's definitely what sets IWU apart, where it's just
I
like you
agree.
can actually talk to your professors, especially if you're an athlete, and just feel comfortable enough. And I feel like you get to know your professors a lot, especially within the smaller class sizes, to have that personable relationships and conversations with them, where it's just like, hey, I'm going to be out of town this week. Is there anything that I can do to like put myself ahead in the class or just catch up on any work? And I feel like that's definitely one of the advantages of going to IWU, and just definitely just being here with such a great community. Following that, how are you guys feeling? Because you guys only have 3 tournaments left within this fall season before the off season. So what are your kind of thoughts and expectations or excitements with these last 3?
Yeah, for me, I haven't had a great start to the season. It's kind of like discouraging in a way, but it's also like motivation, like to want to get better. And so I'm gonna try to play like as much as I can when we're not practicing, because when we practice, we're at the short game area that we just put in, which is phenomenal, and I'm so thankful for it. But like I need to practice more on my own. I probably haven't been the best at that. I think I get caught up in school stuff and having friends and all that kind of stuff that I forget that I need to practice, because it's competition's getting harder, the tournaments we go to. So
Yeah, I'd say I've been not practicing as much as I should be for the tournaments, since I'm in a more competitive area now that I'm not in high school anymore.
What are your guys' goals for the off season, like individually? And do you guys like still do workouts? Like, how does your off season look?
yeah, workouts change to 3 days a week in the off season. Like right now we're at 2. So those will change to 3 days a week, and then we'll still practice inside 2 days a week as well. But we do a lot of spiritual stuff during the off season, and we do a lot of fasting and stuff to get like our mindset right for the spring, which is more of our competition season where we have conference and nationals. So It's definitely big that we grow with the Lord and with each other during the off season, and we focus on getting stronger and bigger to hit the ball further in the spring.
I would say just practice a lot just to make sure I am more ready for the spring season, since it is conference and nationals, just to my mindset in my golf game to be ready for it.
So what is one thing you guys are looking forward to in the spring season?
I always look forward to our spring break trips. I
Where
don't
are you
know.
going?
We don't know.
Oh,
It's always a surprise. We went to the Dominican
okay.
last spring, which was just life-changing. It's just the most joy I've ever felt. It's literally caught a glimpse of heaven on earth. It's undescribable. I have a feeling we might be doing that again. I don't know why, but I just do. We're doing a big fundraiser, so.
How much in advance did you find that out? That you were going?
We knew in the summer of
wow.
yeah.
So this is probably maybe a big surprise.
Yeah, I don't know why we don't know. I don't know. They just haven't said anything. We knew we were going to Georgia the first year. I don't know.
What are you looking forward to in the spring?
Probably just the courses that we'll be playing. We don't know what courses we're going to be playing yet, but when we found out during the summer what courses we were going to be playing this fall, I was really excited just to go to nicer courses that I haven't played at before and just experience that college golf tournament.
Well, that's all we have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for being our guests on the show. Join us next week on Wildcat Week for episode 4, where we hope to spotlight the men's golf team. But as always, for our viewers, we need to stay flexible. I'm Abby Harvey.
And I'm Micah Roberts.
And this has been Wildcat Week.